Good morning, friends. Been a while. I'm not really back. Just pretend I'm not here. This is proof of life, actually. That's what this is. This is proof of life. Hang on just a minute. This is proof of life. I have most of my voice back, but I'm having a hard time with these coughing fits where I can't stop coughing, and then all of a sudden I choke, and then I sneeze. And I've been trying to quilt my quilt. I just started it. I thought, oh boy, you're messing this up bad. But it's not going anywhere else. It's going to stay at my house. I'm going to put it on my own bed. I want to put a chenille, some kind of thin bedspread for summer, and then I'm going to put that on top, and maybe a crocheted afghan like I'm making right now. But I'm just working on stuff, trying to just chill. I'm keeping track of what's going on in the world. Yeah, I am. You know, the drone stuff, they know what those are. Come on, they just don't want to tell us. They know what's going on. It's not aliens. It ain't aliens. You remember that old commercial? It was aliens, I seen them. Remember that kid said, like, he said it just like, it was aliens, I seen them. Well, we ain't seen no aliens. This is government stuff. This is military stuff, I'm sure. They know what's going on. They're not telling us. That's all there is to it. And you can't make them. So, you know, I'm seeing all the stuff's going on. I wouldn't know where to begin to talk about any of it. It's 99.9% stuff that I can do zero about, you can do nothing about. And so I feel like, you know, just contributing to this echo chamber here, everybody's saying the same thing. You know, the only thing you can do, and I'm a big advocate of controlling what you can control and letting the rest go. Hard as it may be. Obsessing over things doesn't change them. And I wish my sons could learn that. Both of my sons have a little problem with that. They get too stressed over things that are completely out of their control. And yeah, some of the things are concerning. That's true. But you know what? To be a broken record here, and I know some of you younger people don't know what a record is. You know, that vinyl piece that goes on there, a needle goes on and it plays, you know, broken record. If a record gets a scratch up, it'll skip. It'll keep skipping, and you have to get the needle over that particular section of the record. I know I feel like a broken record, saying the same thing everybody else is saying, and everybody's talking about the same stuff, and it's all stuff they can't do anything about, and they're just obsessing or commenting or ranting or whatever. I'm trying to just control what I can, and what you can control is your preparedness, just in case things don't go well out there. And you know, I'm preaching to the choir here anyway. You know, the people who need to learn this stuff are probably not watching this channel. Those are the beta male trolls that keep popping up from time to time. To go, yeah, we hate you, we hate you. Okay, whatever. I don't especially like you either. I don't know who you are. I don't even care. You're irrelevant. You're irrelevant. You're nothing. You're a gnat to swat away. But they just torture you for a while and they move on to somebody else. They have a list of victims that they love to deal with, I'm sure. I mean, I don't have time in my life to do that to people. I don't have time. Even if they're total morons, I don't have time to come tell them they're total morons. I'm sure there are plenty of other people who will do that for me. So, people who watch this channel are preparedness-minded people. They're doing the things that need to be done for their families to protect them. But the thing is, I've already got food and water and gardens setting up for next season. Even though I don't eat a lot of the vegetables in summer, I will give me a slice of tomato on a burger. Let me tell you. No bun, but just the ground beef patty and a slice of tomato, salt, I'm happy. And I will do that, and I'll eat our crowder peas, which are more of a high protein vegetable. Legume. But, you know, I prepare, and the thing is, if all my meat runs out, and I've already eaten almost everything from my half cow we bought, except for the ground beef. I've got a good bit of ground beef left, but I've already eaten almost all the roast and the steaks and all that kind of stuff. I only have like a brisket left and a chuck roast, I mean. And I'm having to either buy another cow, which this year has been so expense laden. I've already bought the half cow this year, so I'm probably going to have to wait till to the new year. to buy another half cow for the really good grass-fed beef. Meanwhile, I'm trying to buy the best meat I can in the stores. And if I run out of that, and if I can't buy it because, you know, the people, the delusional lefties seem to think that it's morally wrong to eat beef, and so they're going to try to keep everybody else from doing it, as if they knew what a moral was, and jump up and slap it in the face and they wouldn't recognize it. I'm sorry. Cows, grass-fed pastured cows have a great life. They're in the sunshine, they're eating fresh forage, they're carousing with the herd. I'm talking about grass-fed, not the feedlot cows. Their life's not so great. Grass-fed beef, and their meat is higher in vitamin D from the sun, from being out in the sun, and they have literally one bad day. A bolt in the head, they don't know it even happened. They have a great life. It's not cruel. Eating beef is not cruel. So I'll eat beef until I have no more beef left to eat. And then I'm going to have to rely on what I can grow. And so I'm not going to dismiss growing things just because I'm not eating them at the moment. That's where canning and preserving comes in. Freeze drying, canning, dehydrating, however you want to preserve them. Salting them, whatever. Sugar cured, salt cured, whatever you want to do with them. So I've got my food storage. I've got my water storage. I've got my garden set up. I've got my chickens for eggs. I'm going to have to get new layers this spring. Obviously, I've said that before. I couldn't arrange it with a breeder this year to get them. It's going to cost me a pretty penny to get some good stock. But I'm getting tired of hatchery stock dying on me. Bodie is still around. He was getting worse and worse. He stopped eating. He can barely walk. Something's wrong with him. I think he's got one leg that's either he's had a stroke or he's had a leg injury before he started going downhill. After, I'm not sure. I don't know. But he wasn't eating, and I gave him some of last night's meatloaf. That boy's eating today because of that. Now, I'm giving him time to rally. I have my serious doubts about whether he's coming back from this. If he does, he can never go back with the flock. He's lost his place. But I'm giving him a chance. If he goes downhill and continues, I will euthanize him. That's all we can do. So I need my new layers. But if you haven't done those things already, if you've not done those things, then you have a lot to do. I can quilt and I can crochet and I can carouse with my chickens and I can just rest during the winter for the most part. But if you haven't done those things, you've got some stuff to do because we don't know how all that stuff out there is going to turn out. We're on the verge of World War III. We got nukes. There are people talking about nukes, and people are still going, we stand with Ukraine. It's like, I stand with my country. How about you? What about your own country? That tyrant in Ukraine is violating religious rights all over the place, and you're supporting that man, right? Let them handle their own business. This is what I say. That's called nationalism. I'm a nationalist. White nationalist? That doesn't mean racist. That does not mean racist. It has nothing to do with it. But things are going to change in the next year, I hope for the better. I hope we're going to have a do-over for this country. I don't know what can be done in 4 years. Somebody said, well, he can run in 2028 because it wasn't 2 consecutive terms. I don't know about that. I think the Constitution really leaves that open to interpretation. Because it doesn't specifically say 2 consecutive. He can't govern twice. But it doesn't say consecutively or not. So people are trying to get that they're saying that's a loophole. I don't know. I'm not a constitutional lawyer. I'm sure even they would disagree with that. Disagree amongst themselves about if that means 2 consecutive terms or 2 terms period. Even if they're separated by another term for somebody else. But that's nothing we can do anything about. Nobody's going to ask our opinion about that. We can give it all day long, but they don't care and they're going to do whatever they want to do. We have no control over that. Control what you can control. Now, I've been resting a lot. I'm talking now. I don't sound like Lurch anymore. I'm still not quite back. But if I start having a coughing fit, I'll have to leave. I've had to take a lot of cough suppressants and I pulled out my COVID kit and took the protocol, even though this is not COVID. What this most likely resembles is a walking pneumonia, is a mild pneumonia. I don't know where I got the thing. I don't know how that happened, but it happened. It happens. Okay, so now after over 2 decades of not being sick at all, I was sick last December and I'm sick this December. It was something different than it was last year. I think it was different than it was last year. So there are all kinds of weaponized viruses being created in labs and I believe being released. I couldn't swear to it, but You know, they talk about lab leak. I think it was a lab release, not a leak. That's just my personal opinion. You know, that and a quarter ain't gonna buy you a cup of coffee these days. Our inflation is still through the roof. I don't know what's happening with that. I hope it comes down. I hope we can actually afford things again for a while. Hopefully that movement will take over, and the Trump agenda, which is not for him, it's for this country. I'm getting sick of people saying, well, he's just a Nazi, he's this, he's that. You know, you just spout off crap all you want to, don't make it true. And if you say it 1,000 times, it doesn't make it true. I don't know what they want for this country. I can't figure that out. You don't want families to be together. You don't want families raising children and educating children. You don't want our school system to work. I mean, right now, I know why they can't read in school anymore. They have this stupid program called Reading Recovery that when they teach kids to read, they don't teach phonics. We taught our own sons phonics before they were in school so they could learn how to sound out words they'd never seen. By that time, they were trying to teach sight reading. You had to know what the word was, period. If you had never seen it before, you wouldn't know what it was. You wouldn't even know how to begin to pronounce it. And this Reading Recovery has a 3Q system. They basically have picture books, and they want them to get cues for picture books. I'm sorry, novels and textbooks a lot of times don't have pictures. You can't just, oh my God, where's my pictures? I can't read this book. I could read better in first grade than most high schoolers can read now. I won my spelling bee for my elementary school, and that year they canceled the spelling bee for some reason. I don't remember why that was. I won the spelling bee for the elementary school. Because you know why? Because I read. I read a lot. I read a ton. So, I want to get back inside. I just wanted to say, I'm alive. I am. I don't know how much I'm going to put out in video. I'm trying to think about some other direction for the channel. I still want to encourage homesteading, frugal living, self-sufficient living, no matter what your age is. You have to make concessions for your age sometimes and your disabilities and your lack of ability, your declining health. You'll have to make concessions for that, yes, but never quit. Never quit. If you do, you're at the mercy of someone else's good graces, and I don't want to be that. Not the way people are today, I don't. So, I hope everybody's doing well. I know how the algorithm is on YouTube. If you don't put out 3 or 4 videos a week, you don't get pushed out in the algorithm. Nobody sees you. You know, all you can do is recommend the channel. If you think there's something of value here, recommend the channel to somebody else. That's all I can, that's all you can do if you think there's anything of value here. I've got quilting videos. I've got crochet videos. I've got chicken management videos, chicken entertainment videos. I've got gardening videos showing what we did and how it worked and how it didn't work, our successes, our failures. That's what homesteading is successes and failures. And you learn from your failures and you change up what you're going to do. You let your GPS recalculate and you do something different, or you tweak it. You do something different. But you don't give up because, oh, the squirrels ate my tomatoes this year or whatever. I got squirrels here. I've never had squirrels eat my tomatoes. I don't know what, I think something else is eating their tomatoes. Probably raccoons at night. Anyway, my chickens could get in there with you because my chickens love tomatoes. I have to fence them out of there. But anyway, do the things that you need to do to keep yourself safe and fed and your kids safe and fed. Don't rely on somebody else to feed your children for you or your grandchildren for you. The parents should be doing that, sure, not the grandparents. The grandparents have already done their time. They shouldn't be re-raising children. I don't have any grandchildren. I've never been somebody who wanted grandchildren. If my son's son had lived, made it to birth, I would have loved him, I'm sure. We would have taught him the things we tried to teach our own sons, and they've learned some of it and kept some of it, and some of it they just didn't. But you can't do anything about that. The consequences are theirs, not mine. So, I'm going to go. It's nice and bright and sunny. It's not too cold. It's about to get colder again. I'm going to go check on Bodie and the other chickens. Bash is still kicking. That boy, he's still around. Him and Brandy, they're getting up there. So, and Cora ain't young either. I have a bunch of old ones, and they're still hanging on. All my old ones are still here. All my chickens, pretty much most of them in the Dirty Dozen group are still laying, are laying again. All my Easter eggs except Julia, who was the last to molt, and she molted hard. She's not laying. I don't know if Wren is laying, but all the other hens are laying. So, but the main group is 3.5 years old, and you know, you got Iris, who's 2.5, and then you got the young group, which has Phoebe and Dove and Wren in it, and you know, I don't know, I guess they're close to 2 years old now, I think. Iris may be closer to 3 now. I can't even remember. I have to go look it up. But they're not new chickens. They're not new layers. And you know, then I got the 9-year-olds, the ones that are almost 10, and then I've got, you know, Brandy, who's 8.5, and Cora's almost 8, or I guess she is probably 8. And you know, you can't depend on eggs from them. You just can't. I think Brandy's done laying for her life, probably. She was laying not long ago for her molt. She was laying every other day. Cora never did. And she's younger than Brandy. So you can't ever guarantee what you're going to get. But anyway, that's the gist of it. I've stuck a picture up of the quilt I'm trying to do. Started out not doing so well, and I had attention. I had shifted my attention, and I forgot. I had to pick out some stuff at the beginning before I got too far, and redo my attention. I changed my needle to something else. But anyway, I'd already changed my needle. It was a brand new needle, and it was giving me trouble. I was shredding thread, and I thought, I'm going to go to my top stitch needle, which has a bigger eye in it. And it works a lot better. So, I got to get back to business. I got to go check on the chickens. I'm still here. I'm not going to be fully back, I don't think. I still probably don't sound right. Those of you who really know how I'm supposed to sound. But for a while, I literally sounded like Lurch from the Addams Family. It was bad. It was bad. And I'm sleeping a little better, but I have about one coughing fit a night, and then, of course, that wakes me up. So, all things will pass. These will pass. It's okay. But if you're not doing the things you should be doing to keep your family safe and fed, you're really late. You need to get started on that, okay? You really need to get started on that. I've got most of that stuff done. I've got alternative energy. So, you know, we've already done the things. We haven't been able to get to can. I've still got some canning to do. I got to do some canning. I still haven't canned the peas from last season. I've got to get that done. But my husband, it takes standing up for a long time because you put ham in it, and it has to cook longer than it does if it's just the peas. So pressure cooking. So that's going to take some standing up, and you know, it's better to do that when it's really cold outside because it really warms up the house. So. Catch y'all later. Stay cool. Don't stress over things that you can't do anything about, because it'll just give you ulcers or upset your digestion or whatever. And you don't need that. You need to be able to enjoy your life and do something creative. If you don't do it already, do something creative. I'm gonna leave a few pictures at the end. Good to talk to y'all again. Bye.